the spider came.
Spins a web in his eyes, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes Spider-Man. He's so strong, listen bud, he's the radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there, here goes your Spider-Man.
In the chill of night, at the scene of the crime.
Like a streak of light, he arrives just in time.
These great artists, from international stars to YouTube creatives, covering the Spider-Man theme. It's perfect proof of what a classic for pop culture this song has become. Please check out the artists included in this mashup in the description below. In this movie reboot, they dusted off the original song and put a classical orchestra to work with. Reboot? Another reboot? Okay, I can understand. The last one flopped. Big time.
Then let's go catch a spider.
So even though I love Spider-Man, I was a little worried over here. I will tell you why I think Tom Holland is my favorite Spidey so far. And finally, I was satisfied with the villain of the movie.
I want you to understand. I'll do anything to protect my family. I know you know what I'm talking about. So don't mess with me. Because I will kill you and everybody you love.
I got to know Spider-Man on Saturday mornings over cereal back in the 80s and 90s. And man, I love this character. Who wouldn't want to be such a friendly, heroic superhero? Just swinging around in cities like a monkey in the jungle. Not those monkeys in jungle. So when the first Spider-Man movies came out, I was very curious and excited. First there was Tobey Maguire's version in 2002, this one. And I very much liked the first movie. I was in the movie theaters going like, holy shit, this is a good superhero movie. This is a Spider-Man I liked. Not everybody was a fan. Like there was comments on the bad guy, the villain, the Green Goblin, being too much of a Power Ranger.
It's right.
Here's the real truth.
Watch out!
We'll meet again, Spider-Man!
I don't freaking care. He looked awesome and the fights were like a cartoon. So yeah, I was satisfied. I was like, cool. I was, into this Spider-Man. But the thing I did not like so much, especially in hindsight, is the portrayal of Peter Parker by Tobey Maguire. Dude, what a whiny character he is, man. Such a pushover. It made him look weak. It was such a weak, sad, whiny, emo Peter Parker. Always crying when he was in peril or things happen. Uncle Ben. But overall, I liked the Spider-Man bits a lot from the trilogy. But Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, I know I'll hurt a lot of fans. But Tobey Maguire, you are not my Peter Parker. No. Then there was the 2012 and 2014's version with Andrew Garfield, The Amazing Spider-Man. That one. Yeah, that guy. Sorry. Well, they made this character, the Peter Parker character, a little bit antisocial, awkward. He was angsty, sometimes cocky, and definitely for me not witty enough to portray Peter Parker. So Andrew Garfield, no, you're not my Peter Parker.
Go ahead, take it.
The Spider-Man scenes were okay. I thought the Tobey Maguire versions of Spider-Man was better than Andrew Garfield's version. But thankfully with Tom Holland, they finally get closer to what Spider-Man really is, or maybe more Peter Parker. Although he's the high school version of Peter Parker and the previous one were a little bit more adult, he is the warm character I remembered from the Saturday morning cartoons in the 80s and 90s. He's funny and witty. Well, which is your favorite Spider-Man? Please leave your comment in the section below. Of course, this was a nostalgic thing to me because I am so attached, or I was so attached to the cartoon series I grew up with. The 90s version, the 1994 Spider-Man animated series, man, did I freaking love that series. He became a very believable character with awesome storylines. We had sagas, we had arcs, character arcs. I got to know a lot more about Spider-Man and Peter Parker from this series because there were not many comics available in my country. In the cartoon, I learned about the expanding Marvel universe. I saw team-ups from Spider-Man with Captain America, Iron Man, the Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, some of the X-Men like Storm. I met powerful characters not from this universe or planet like Madam Web and the Beyonder. So for this movie, Marvel chose yet another genre. What the thing they are doing for this whole series. This time it's a coming of age story. A high school movie. It's about Spider-Man or Peter Parker growing up, going to high school. And he is a bit naive. And although he can be awkward at sometimes and geeky, he is not a pushover. He doesn't whine too much and he's warm and funny.
Does Liz get a new top?
No, we've seen that before. Never with that skirt.
Should probably stop staring before it gets creepy, though.
Too late. You guys are losers.
Listen, I know school sucks.
Peter, you still with us?
Yeah.
The choice for a younger Spider-Man is opening doors for a more interesting dynamic between the superheroes. We already had a cast of full grown-up superheroes, and yet another one would make it a little bit boring. So Peter Parker as a younger guy creates an interesting story arc. And especially with Iron Man, yeah, freaking Iron Man is in this movie as the father figure or a mentor.
So to become an Avenger, are there like trials or an interview?
Just don't do anything I would do. And definitely don't do anything I wouldn't do. There's a little gray area in there, and that's where you operate.
Oh.
All right?
That's not a hug. I'm just grabbing the door for you. All right, kid. Good luck out there.
On a side note, I think Marvel also wants to reel in a younger audience, so they need someone to represent them. And a second side note, Aunt May also got rejuvenated for this series. She's not an old lady. No, she's not an old lady with the white hair, you know, like almost Betty White old. No, she's freaking Marissa Tomei.
We need music. This is perfect. It's the Guatemalan Boys Choir. their deaths.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei. Say it, George.
Marissa Tomei!
Say it one more time, George.
Marissa Tomei!
Okay, one more time.
That's another Marissa Tomei movie.
Yeah, I have a thing for Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei.
It's so hard for me to believe that she's someone's aunt.
Yeah, well, we come in all shapes and sizes, you know.
This walnut date loaf is
Let
exceptional.
me just stop you there.
The difference for me as a fanboy is normally I wanted to be Spider-Man or Peter Parker. The Tom Holland version is making me feel more like I want to be a friend of him, you know, like a fellow Avenger or like a brother. So that's what this Spider-Man Peter Parker or this version is doing for me. And even though it's a reboot, I'm very happy they did not took his by hand like some 2-year-olds and going all through the spider bite thing again and Uncle Ben. So yeah, I was happy they did not include that. Been there, done that, skip, let's go. Of course, at first the MCU did not have the rights to Spider-Man. Sony had the rights. So it was later into this series that Spider-Man got involved. I was quite disappointed that he wasn't part of the Avengers in 2012. But for more about the Avengers, click the link right over there. And his involvement was really important. He plays a key role in later movies. And it would just not feel right without him. So he, Spider-Man, appeared in the trailer of Captain America Civil War. And there it starts with the intertwining of Spider-Man in the MCU. And I really liked how they did it. In Captain America, you saw the airport fight in Germany. And in this movie, you see the same fight, but now from the perspective of Spider-Man with his own camera and doing a vlog kind of thing. And that was really awesome. It was really nice to see the opening of Homecoming with the scene from Civil War from the perspective of Spider-Man. Great!
Okay, there's Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow. Whoa, who's that new guy? That's me. I gotta go.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, so the craziest thing just happened, right? I started a fight with Captain America and I stole his shield and I threw it at him and the hell, he's big now. I gotta go. Hang on.
What also happens in Homecoming, they are using the scraps from the Battle of New York from 2012, the Avengers battle, because it's about alien scraps, and also that is intertwining with this movie. And this also set the stage for a villain that was finally worthy, in my opinion. After this movie, the villains only improve. And this villain is played by Michael Keaton.
Then he had us.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
He is an awesome actor and his part was written well. I really could understand his actions. He was stealing or harvesting alien machinery or alien technology from the Avengers battle. It was to defend himself, but when other organizations are stealing your shit, what you think is rightfully yours, so he was really sticking it up to the man. I like characters like that, you know, stick it up to the man, you know, fight for your right. And of course, Michael Keaton is just awesome. Even more interesting though, we get confronted with our own racial stereotypes. Here comes a major spoiler. Peter Parker is dating a girl of color. So as an audience, we assume that both her parents are colored too. Wrong. The surprise was huge when we found out that Michael Keaton's character is the father of the girl Peter Parker is dating. You know, the white dude. And I can still hear the gasps in the movie theater when he opened the door and you see freaking white dude Michael Keaton. Dun, dun, dun. You did not see that one coming. Have you ever considered how many winged characters Michael Keaton portrayed? Batman, Birdman, now the Vulture? I wonder what's next. Flying Beetlejuice? Oh, that I want to see a sequel of Beetlejuice. A freaking cool movie.
It's showtime.
But yeah, what things with wings will he portray next? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Unicorn maybe? No, it's Michael Keaton.
Nice fucking model!
All in all, this movie had nice humor. I really liked the relationship and bonding of Peter Parker and Tony Stark. And this is also the first time I really appreciated the character of Peter Parker. You know, instead of just skipping to the Spider-Man parts. And of course we have to thank great writing but great acting too by Tom Holland.
Sup, guys? Wait a minute. You guys aren't the real Avengers. I can tell Hulk gives it away. Oh, that was awesome.
One of the things I did not like so much was the super futuristic Uber suit that Tony Stark creates for Spider-Man, his Iron Spider suit. Don't get me wrong, this suit is awesome, but it doesn't feel a lot like Spider-Man, and Peter Parker or Spider-Man is hugely dependent on it. So for that part, my final verdict for this movie gets an 8 out of 10 stars. Thanks for watching Dr. Video's Marvel Reviews. Please take your medicinal prescription from the red button down below. Freaking don't have web shooters.
Ricochet whip!
Have you ever Michael Achoo!